Welcome to Beyond the Bounce with your hosts, MICHAI White,
And I'm Chris Rivers.
where we discuss everything from on-the-court brilliance to off-the-court strategy and potential impacts on the next level.
So come with us as we take a deeper dive into the dynamic world of basketball.
This is Beyond the Bounce, where the game goes beyond the court. Sponsored by KLH2O Alkaline Water.
And Crispy NYC.
We back, episode 6.
Dr. J episode. Let's do it.
What's up,
Good to
man?
see you again.
Good to see you too.
What's today's topic, man?
Well, before we we got old school versus new school, but before we dive into that, my question is, what were some of your favorite NBA players you worked with over time?
I work with dozens of fantastic NBA dudes, but some of the most favorite ones I had that I can remember that I spent the most time with, definitely Derrick Rose.
Mm-hmm.
We traveled China multiple times on private jet for 2 weeks to 7 different countries in Europe. I got to know his brother Reggie, who I can still consider a dear friend. His mama's Brenda. His brothers Dwayne and Greedy. I mean, I just knew his whole family. So those 4 years I was with him was definitely something I will never forget. And it wasn't all great. I mean, I remember I was coaching an AAU tournament in Arkansas. When I came, the game was over. I went and checked my phone. I had about 20 missed messages. That was the day he first tore his ACL. And I just remember, like, what was going on? So just dealing with that and being at the hospital after his first surgery, and I was the person that wheeled him out of the surgery. So Derrick Rose had a significant impact on my life. And what was also ironic about when he was going through his knee injuries, my daughter was going through her own ACL injuries. So I had ACL injuries as a dad at home. I had ACL injuries as a professional at work. Yeah. So tough. I like to think that I learned everything I ever wanted to know about ACL injuries. So Derrick Rose first. The time I got to spend with Jeremy Lin. Jeremy was such a stand-up dude. His character, A1. His family was tremendous. He never took anything for granted, and that was something I respected. And Jeremy's family's from Taiwan,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to go to Taiwan with Jeremy. And you talk about rock star status. Talking about people just wanting to just follow us everywhere we went, and just the grace and the kindness he showed to other people was something that you would never forget. Then there was times traveling with Dame Lillard, shout out to Oakland, but just the focus and commitment to being great that he had,
Mm-hmm.
and still being a good dude. Never getting too far in front of himself. Wanting to ride, he still rode with the same dudes he grew up with, and they were always good dudes. We talked about a village in a previous episode, but so D Rose, Jeremy Lin, Dame Lillard were just 3 that I can think of off the top right now that really just significant.
So back to the topic at hand.
Yes, I'm excited about this one.
Old school versus new school. We'll go 20-year span, 2004 to 2024.
Hold on, let me think. 04. How old were you? Oh, you weren't born yet.
Wasn't born.
Okay. All right, I want to make sure.
I wasn't probably a
Okay.
thought.
04.
Around.
I mean, can we just jump right in?
Yeah, but like the difference is like the game has totally changed. Like
Yes.
basketball, politics, culture, camps, training, like everything has changed. So like, what were some key differences from seeing the game today to seeing the game in 2004 that has changed?
All right. I'm going to sound like an old head because I am. First thing, y'all shorts too goddamn short. First thing. Brothers was not playing. Dudes was not wearing shorts 2 sizes too small.
I mean, but they
like
did it in the 60s though, so what's the problem with it?
I'm not saying there's a problem with it. I'm just describing the first difference that came to mind. The short shorts.
I mean, the short shorts is fly though. Like the short. Hold on, actually, I beg to differ, yo. The long shorts is becoming a wave again, but like not consecutively. Like every game, you can't do the long shorts. You gotta be like short, and then you can throw on the wall. But it can't be like on a serious game. You gotta be like a troll, having fun. Maybe at a camp, MSH TV, you going up and down. You got the long shorts, high socks, but short shorts. Overall.
All right. So that's the first thing I want to call out. Secondly, I'm slightly biased, but I like to think that players 20 years ago were probably tougher than they are today. Mostly tougher. I think they're probably more skilled today than they are now.
They were more skilled back then?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I've seen 5th and 6th graders shooting the ball where Steph does and just doing things. And obviously, you guys emulate what you see. So kids, when they're 5 and 6, 6 years ago, were trying to be Steph. So that's what people at home working on. The crazy handle. You guys got the videos. I mean, you don't have to leave the house and you got DJ Sackman popping up on your phone every 5 minutes, giving you the keys to the card to tell you how to become a great point guard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many different ways to be better today.
Yeah.
Than kids had access to. If you wanted to be great in 2004, you had to have a coach or a trainer, somebody who had been through the mud and understood it, or you had to go someplace.
Yeah.
Now, you just do workouts on your phone. You got virtual. I mean, there's a trainer on almost every corner in 2024. Not saying all of them are good, but there's so much more accessibility to being better than there was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure how much you studied the NBA drafts, but in 2004, you had 8 players go straight from high school to the NBA. I don't think that happened today. I don't think it would happen last year.
I don't think you could do it
No, I'm not saying I know it can't happen.
Oh.
I don't think there would be 8 players drafted. But I'm biased, though.
No, I could see 8 players, actually.
8?
Cooper Flag.
100%.
Ace Bailey.
Real.
Dylan Harper.
Killer.
And then, like, those bigs.
Oh,
like
you see.
Flory Bagunda.
I'm not saying that they couldn't. See, we would never know. But see how quickly you rattled off those 3? I was like, yeah. Then you had to start thinking.
Flory Bagunda can go. You know, I'm saying Rob could go. Rob Dillingham could go. Because Rob Dillingham can get around anybody. That translates wherever. Getting around somebody, that translates anybody.
Rob is different.
Rob is different. I'm saying Derek Queen can go. It's like Jokic all over again. Derek Queen. That's 6. I don't know if 8 could maybe go, but like I'm thinking.
And
like,
let's say the NBA drafts on what? You know what they draft on? The number one thing that they draft on? What? Potential.
True.
So they would find 8 guys. But when you talk about 2004 to 2024, that year just stands out to me so clearly because Dwight Howard went 1 out of high school. Who was the second high school guy taken? Oh, man.
2004 was that? No, that wasn't Greg Oden. That was 09. Was that Greg?
Greg was 07 draft.
07. That's what I mean.
But that was that 04 class was Sebastian Telford, J.R. Smith. Shout out to St. Benedict's. Sean Livingston, Al Jefferson, Robert Swift, Darrell Wright, Josh Smith from Atlanta. So, but those guys were all big. There was no one under, besides Sebastian, no one under 6'5", 6'6". So that was just an incredible special class. But let me get back to the other things that's going on between 2024 to 2004 differences. Social media's changed a lot. Let's just call it media. We always go social media, but let's just call it media's changed. The fact that everybody has a mixtape.
Exactly.
All you have to do is make 5 highlights, have Lil Baby on your track, and put some slow motion, and you got a mixtape.
You make a 67 mix out of that.
Yep. And then you post it, and then your mom puts it on her story, and then everybody likes it, and then you got a mixtape. So, but it's kind of cool that everyone gets to get celebrated, and everyone gets to get filled. But that wasn't happening in 04. If you wanted people to really see your game, people had to come out there and see you. You had national All-American camps back then. Of course, they have the NBA PA right now. It's one of the top camps going on. But back then, when you had the Nike camp, and in 04, you had the Nike camp, you had the Adidas camp, and you had the Reebok camp. So you had 3 national top-level All-American camps all going at the same time in July. So the eyes that were on the kids at that time were just different. But I think training right now has gotten better. Because there's more trainers, you got more people studying the game. Players like you guys, what you're doing at Student Athlete Academy, you got more people who are raising the level of play, giving you guys answers to the test that you may typically not have gotten until you were a college student. Now you guys are getting those answers in 8th and 9th grade. What's going on with Chad Babel's done with Made Hoops and the other circuits just being more competitive. You haven't, I mean, didn't you go play overseas last year?
Yeah, Singapore.
I mean, you went just to Singapore and you hadn't even got to 8th grade yet. So the fact that more American kids your age are getting the ability to go play internationally younger, I think that's making the game better. And that's going to get people more exposure to get at it. But, you know, I joke about old school versus new school, but I like it all. I like the fact that it's evolving. I like the fact that guys are shooting the ball further and further out and, of course, getting spread. I think we need to bring more emphasis back on playing through the low post on occasion. But, you know, that's not up for me to decide. What are you seeing from what you've heard or what you've seen on video?
I've heard, like, the mixtape culture, obviously. Like, I heard you had to really earn a mixtape. Like, I heard they was mad foreign. Like, nobody did mixtapes. The only people that I could recall getting a mixtape that, from what I hear, is like John Wall, Austin Rivers. They got mixtapes because from what people tell me, they were actually really like that.
Like mixtapes didn't start till first mixtape group I remember is a group called HoopMixtape.com.
Yep, Hoop Mixtape. Mm-hmm.
And what's his name? Oh, it'll come to me. I can see him. Apologize for me not calling him out, but they were cutting edge, man. Check out Derrick Rose mixtape, 2006. I mean, you don't have to watch. John Wall's, Brandon Jennings was crazy too. I know that's past 04, but question I have for you. It's 2024. Is there anything that you heard that used to happen in older times that doesn't go on now? I mean, the only thing would be ABCD camps, but especially being here in Jersey, that's the main thing. Because you guys have access to all the camps. I mean, as crazy as it looks on highlights on Instagram, what's the middle school camp where everybody wears all the crazy colors?
Oh, MSH?
Did you go to that?
Yeah.
Those uniforms are just so bright. But it looks like guys are getting after it and are having a good time, and that's cool. And the fact that they're ranking players in 5th and 6th grade and 7th grade now. They used to do it a little bit, but it might be only 1 or 2 people.
I got it now.
Oh,
like the invites and stuff. Like, because like I feel like back then, like you actually, if you wanted to be somewhere, somebody had to invite you, or you had to really be that nice to where you were getting in. Now I feel like you could pay your way into things, almost.
That's interesting. Obviously, everything in life, when it's subjective, basketball is subjective. It's not track, it's not swimming, it's not tennis, where you just beat the person. You can say I'm ranked better than you because I actually defeated you at the same time on an equal playing field.
Yeah.
To say who's better or not, but you had to put in work. There was a guy by the name of Clark Francis who ran Hoop Scoop. Bob Gibbons had a report. There was 3 or 4 national writers who covered mostly everybody. Where now there's so many different outlets who are covering people and ranking people. And, I can't speak to, I'm not in it like you are, but the politics have always been a part of the game. But it sounds like from what you're saying, I mean, you think it's a large part of the game now?
No doubt. No doubt. People can have, like I said in episode 2, I believe, Rising Above Adversity, people can have a good game, and then everybody will just jump on their wave, and then they'll just have, after you built that name off of that one game, you could just become like a sensational name, and you could have 5 bad games in a row, but then you have one good game, and they back on the wave, and they post it. So, you know what I'm saying? Another thing, I feel like write-ups. They do more write-ups now.
Ooh, do they?
Back then.
Seems like every time somebody puts a pair of shoes on, somebody's writing up about something. I mean, I follow your page, and you might have 4 or 5 write-ups after one game, which is great for what you guys are, but that wasn't happening back then. I mean, there was no Twitter. So if you wanted to read a write-up, you had to either, and it wasn't in a regular newspaper, you had to wait until Bob Gibbons or Clark Francis's or Dino's or some one of the old pioneers, one of their reports came out, and that wasn't something that normal people saw. You had to be a real basketball hoop head. But today, you play a game, you go 4 quarters, you have 20 points and 6 and 3 points and 3 assists. Before you even get to the car, you're reading about it.
Exactly.
And that's something that I think is great from a cover standpoint, but it's also something I think that's, we like to call it's a whole lot of fool's gold. Because people are kind of starting to consume all this information, and they start to believe that that's all that they are. Obviously, if you did it, it's truth.
True.
But, it's up to you, kind of like we talked about in a previous episode. You got to have a good holder. You got to have a good village of people who help keep you accountable to see what's going on.
Beyond the bounce question of the day.
Beyond the bounce question of the day. Let's get it.
How do you prepare for success?
I try to prepare for success in a variety of ways, but the one characteristic I'm trying to become better at is being more disciplined. And that's a simple word, hard to execute. A lot of people are working on it, but I realize, MICHAI, that in all the things I want to achieve personally, health-wise, family-wise, professionally, that when I'm disciplined, I'm a lot closer to what I'm trying to achieve. So simple things like my alarm goes off at 6. When I'm disciplined, I count to 5 and I get up. When I'm mostly disciplined, I complain about it for 2 or 3 minutes, then I get up. When I'm in my soft, not driven, not focused mode, I hit snooze. I get up at 6:30. So something as simple as that, because that just carries over. So one successful choice starts my day off one way. One choice that's not as successful or less disciplined starts my day off in a completely different area.
Yeah.
So that's one way, trying to remain disciplined. Secondly, I'm getting older, and I can kind of see what the next 15, 20, hopefully 30 years will look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm realizing that I haven't achieved everything I want to achieve, or I'm not prepared to do the things I want to do when I reach 70.
Yeah.
I ain't close yet, but when I get there. So there's things that I know I need to be really intentional about. I need to really be dialed into. So one of the things I have to do each day is I need to be really aware of what I consume. There's so much content out there. I recently got on Instagram, the real C Rivers. You go on Instagram, it'd be 30, 45 minutes. I'm practicing dancing. I'm watching hoop highlights. I'm trying to work on my point guard skills, and I might be cooking something.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, I've lost a whole lot of time. So just being more cognizant, more disciplined, more focused on what I consume, what I put into my head, I think matters a lot from where I am right now, from where I'm trying to get to. But there's a lot of noise out there in the world, and the noise wants to just soak you in. It wants to just consume all your time. It wants to just kind of lull you into just doing things that aren't productive.
Yeah.
And I know that I got to really, really be aware that if I want to be as successful as I want to get to. And the people that I look up to, whether it's in sports or leadership or business or just someone in my community, is a guy by the name of Nick Shivers, who owns 62 different properties. And he's in real estate. And he's a regular dad like me, but he's locked into his profession and he's really driven. And there are certain things he calls non-negotiables.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just certain things that he has to do every day if he wants to get successful. And when he gets home each night, he should text me back. He goes, "Good day," because he did all his non-negotiables. But he's not perfect. He might go a day or two and get off track. So just little things like that. And just realizing that if I want to be more successful, I like to feel I've had a certain level of success. I have a great family. I have healthy kids. I have great friendship. I've been able to do a lot. But it's on me. And I got to make sure I surround myself with people who are striving to do the same thing. And I have a saying that goes, no busters in my crew.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not a person who's driven, a person who's trying to be on a similar path than me, I love you. I wish you well. I might like you, man, love you, but I can't spend time with you.
Yeah.
What about you when it comes to success? I mean, we've done a lot on these first few episodes talking about what you're going to do in high school. I know you want to score 400 points as a freshman. I know you want to be freshman of the year. I know you want to achieve all these other accolades. But outside of basketball, what are some things that you want to do that are going to demonstrate or that you'll be able to reflect on that show that you're on that path to success?
Like a trait almost?
A trait of work, yeah.
Always like staying humble with everything.
That's a big one.
Staying humble, because I feel like staying humble and not getting too big headed. Like I'm a very confident person. If you know me, you know I'm super confident, overly confident. But I always have that balance of staying humble, because when you stay humble, I feel like it keeps you at your best. It keeps you working as hard as you can. You don't get so caught up in your morals and in what you have achieved in your ways that you continue working hard, and you could have that overlapping and continuing success, and that you don't just give up after a while.
Who helps you stay humble?
My parents.
They keep it real?
They keep it real. They show me love. Like they show me love.
They show you a lot of love.
My parents aren't like, because I know some dads, like, son will drop 3-5 people, dunk on somebody, and you be sitting there like this. No emotion. My dad mess around, run around the whole gym. So, like, you know.
Now, I haven't seen Pops get down, but I've seen footage of your mama now.
Nah. He's bad.
Is Pops more animated than Mom's?
Nah. I really have to do something. He'll scream, but he, like, for him to run around the gym, I really have to do something crazy. I had to probably dump him.
And your mom's is so mellow, though. She's so professional, so buttoned up, so
thing
polished.
is-
But when you start playing, bro, we all go out the window.
Like,
She'd be on the sideline like I would think she's trying to get in the game.
the thing is, that's what people don't know about my mom. My friends, they be like, "Michai, your mom is actually very chill outside of basketball." They're like, it's only when people are playing. Like, she's never like this. Like, when we're in the house on a Saturday, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, she's just chilling, watching her show, maybe talking to me, very mellow. But when it's game time, she's loud. She's, you don't get past you. Lock them up. She's everywhere.
You know, but with all that passion comes, it's rooted in love. But one thing I will say about both your parents, because that weekend I was at Made Hoops, they root for other people's kids.
Yep.
They want to see every kid do their best.
Mm-hmm.
And most parents are like that, but not all.
Not all.
And I could tell that the amount of love that your parents got from all the other kids who came up, they were checking on your broke ankle, of course, but they were coming up giving your parents love.
Mm-hmm.
They only get that because they give it out, and I think that's something that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
When she's not, you know, trying to look like she's trying to check in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good.
Yeah. Well, episode 6. Good me.
It's been 6 already?
That's 6 already, bro.
Dr. J episode.
Dr. J.
I hope you're going to have me back, bro.
No doubt.
You know, I appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the Bounce.
Beyond the Bounce.
We out. Remember, what makes us different is we're coming from 2 different dynamic perspectives. You got young MICHAI here, who's one of the top rising freshman point guards in the country. And then you got me. I've seen a little bit of everything in my 25 years in the business, and we're going to mix those 2 together to give you a new, fresh perspective every week.
Stay in the game for more in-depth discussions and insights into the future of the game of basketball.
MICHAI, tell all the fans where they can follow you at.
You can follow me at moneymichai on all social media platforms.
And feel free to check me out on Instagram at therealcrivers and on my website at chrisriversrap. That's RAPP.com.
Big shout out to our sponsors, KLH2O Alkaline Water. Upgrade your hydration. You can get yours at www.klh2oalkaline.com. And you know I always got to keep my faith. Use code MICHAI on their website, www.crispy-nyc.com for 15% off your order.
Now thank y'all for balling with us on Beyond the Bounce.